My fiancée posted live Instagram pictures of herself getting engaged to another man, while still engaged to me. And the worst part? That man wasn't some stranger. He was my supervisor at work. She didn't think for even a second what kind of storm was about to follow. I simply commented, "Congratulations." Then I forwarded those pictures straight to her parents. They showed up at the engagement ceremony immediately. And what happened next completely destroyed my fiancé's life. I'm 30 years old, and up until 3 months ago, I thought I was living a pretty solid life. I'd been with Melissa for 4 years, engaged for the last 8 months. We had the venue booked, deposits paid, invitations designed. The wedding was supposed to be in June. I worked in project management at a mid-sized construction firm, decent pay, good benefits. Melissa worked in sales for a pharmaceutical company, always traveling for conferences and client meetings. We had our own apartment, split everything 50-50, talked about kids and buying a house. Normal couple stuff. Then, on a random Wednesday afternoon in February, my phone started blowing up. I was in a meeting when the notifications started coming in. Instagram, Facebook, text messages from friends I hadn't heard from in months. I ignored them at first. Meeting was important, quarterly review stuff, but they kept coming. Finally, I excused myself and stepped into the hallway. The first message I opened was from my college roommate. "Dude, what the hell is going on?" Then one from my cousin. "Are you okay? Did you guys break up?" I opened Instagram. Melissa's story was up. Multiple posts. The first one showed a restaurant. Fancy place, dim lighting, candles on the tables. The second was a close-up of her hand with a massive diamond ring that definitely wasn't the one I'd given her. The third was a video of her crying laughing while someone off camera said, "She said yes." The fourth picture made my stomach drop. It was her kissing someone. A man I recognized immediately because I saw him every single day at work. David, my direct supervisor. 42, divorced twice, drove a Tesla, always bragging about his investment portfolio. She'd tagged him in the post. The caption read, "Never thought I'd find my person, but here we are. Sometimes the universe just knows." I said yes to forever. I stood in that hallway for probably 5 minutes, just staring at my phone. People walked past me. Someone asked if I was all right. I didn't answer. I couldn't process what I was looking at. We were engaged. I had a ring on my credit card statement from 8 months ago to prove it. We lived together. I'd kissed her goodbye that morning before she left for what she said was a client dinner. A client dinner. With my boss, who apparently proposed to her. Update 1. I left work early. Told my team I felt sick, which wasn't exactly a lie. I drove home in complete autopilot, hands shaking on the steering wheel. When I got to our apartment, her stuff was exactly where she'd left it that morning. Coffee cup in the sink. Makeup scattered on the bathroom counter. Her overnight bag was gone. She'd said she might stay at a hotel near the restaurant since the dinner would run late. I sat on the couch and opened Instagram again. The posts were still up. Hundreds of likes already. Comments from people congratulating her. Some from mutual friends who clearly had no idea we were still together. Some from her coworkers. Some from people I didn't recognize. Then I saw a comment from her mother. "So happy for you, sweetheart. He's a wonderful man. Can't wait for the celebration." Her mother knew. Her mother, who'd been helping us plan our wedding, who'd been texting me about seating arrangements literally 2 days ago, knew about this. I called Melissa. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. Send a text. "We need to talk. Now." No response. I called David. He answered on the second ring. "Hey, what's up?" His voice was casual. Cheerful, even. "Are you seriously engaged to my fiancée?" Silence. Then, "Oh, you saw that. You knew we were together. You knew we were engaged. Look, man, it's complicated." Complicated? "You proposed to my fiancée. She told me you guys were basically done. That you'd grown apart. That the engagement was a mistake. She said she was planning to break it off with you, but didn't know how." I actually laughed. It came out harsh and bitter. "And you believed her? While she was still wearing my ring. While we were still planning a wedding. I don't know what to tell you. She made it sound like you two were over." "When did this start?" Another pause. "A few months ago. We ran into each other at a conference in Denver. Got drinks, started talking. Things developed from there. A few months. So she's been cheating on me with you for months, and you, my supervisor, went along with it. I didn't know the full situation. You knew enough. You work with me. You've seen me every day. You knew I wasn't acting like someone whose relationship was falling apart. I'm sorry, man. I really am. But I love her. I hung up. My hands were still shaking. I wanted to throw my phone across the room, but somehow managed to set it down on the coffee table instead. That's when I made the decision. I wasn't going to yell, wasn't going to beg, wasn't going to give either of them the satisfaction of seeing me lose control. I was going to be strategic. I went to my laptop and found her parents' contact information. Her dad, Robert, had given me his number when we first got engaged, told me to call if I ever needed anything. I pulled up the Instagram posts again, took screenshots of everything. The ring, the kiss, the tag location, David's name, all the comments. Then I sent them to Robert with a simple message. Hey Robert, I'm confused about something. Melissa and I are still engaged and living together, but she posted these today. Do you know what's going on? I'm worried about her. I hit send. Then I commented on her Instagram post. Just one word. Congratulations. Update 2. Her father called me 6 minutes later. What the hell is this? His voice was sharp, angry. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Did you know about this? Her mother mentioned she was seeing someone new, but I assumed you two had broken up. She told her mother you'd ended things. Robert, I kissed her goodbye this morning. Our wedding is in 4 months. I've been paying half the rent on our apartment. I had no idea she was even unhappy, let alone seeing someone else. I heard him take a deep breath. Where is this restaurant? I told him the name and address from her tag location. When did she post this? About 2 hours ago. Based on her stories, I think they're still there. I'm going down there. Right now. Robert, you don't have to. The hell I don't. My wife and I helped pay for your wedding venue. We've been planning this for months. And she's been lying to all of us? No. I'm going. He hung up. I sat there, phone in my hand, trying to decide what to do next. Part of me wanted to go to that restaurant myself, but I knew that wouldn't help anything. I just looked desperate or crazy. Better to let her parents handle it. About 45 minutes later, my phone rang. Melissa, what the fuck did you do? She was screaming. Actually screaming. My parents just showed up here and caused a scene. You had no right. I had no right. You got engaged to another man while engaged to me. We're done. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you. By posting it on Instagram? By letting me find out from our friends and family. That was your plan. You never would have let me go? You would have tried to fix things, tried to convince me to stay. So you just decided to humiliate me publicly instead? And with my boss, Melissa? My supervisor. David and I are in love. You wouldn't understand. I understand that you're a coward. And a cheater. My dad is demanding I come home with them right now. They're threatening to cut me off if I don't break things off with David. Good. This is your fault. You ruined my engagement. I hung up. I was done listening to her twist this into something I'd done wrong. Update 3. The next day at work was surreal. I showed up at my normal time, 7:30 a.m., and went straight to HR. I'd thought about it all night. There was no way I could keep working under David. Not after this. I met with Linda, our HR director, and explained the situation. Showed her the Instagram posts, explained that David was engaged to my now ex-fiancée, that she'd been cheating with him while we were still together. Linda's face went from confused to horrified to professionally blank in about 30 seconds. This is definitely a conflict of interest, she said carefully, and potentially creates a hostile work environment for you. Let me talk to upper management. David didn't show up to work that day, or the next. I found out later that Linda had called him in for a meeting and he'd been put on administrative leave while they investigated. Apparently, dating a subordinate's partner fell under some ethics clause in his contract, especially since he'd failed to disclose the relationship. Meanwhile, Melissa moved out of our apartment over the weekend. Her dad and brother came with a truck while I was at the gym. I'd left specifically so I wouldn't have to see her. She took her stuff and left her key on the kitchen counter. No note, no apology, nothing. Her mother texted me a week later. I'm so sorry for what my daughter did to you. This isn't how we raised her. You deserved better than this. I didn't respond, but I appreciated it. The Instagram posts stayed up for 3 days before Melissa finally deleted them. But by then, screenshots had spread everywhere. Mutual friends were taking sides. Some of her friends tried to defend her, saying I must have done something to drive her away. Most people weren't buying it. Update 4. 2 weeks after everything blew up, I got called into a meeting with Linda and the VP of Operations. They informed me that David had resigned rather than face termination. They also offered me a promotion, not to David's position, but to a lateral role in a different department with better pay and a new supervisor who had no connection to any of this mess. I accepted. The pay bump was significant, and getting out from under David's shadow felt necessary for my sanity. Melissa tried to reach out once during this time. A long text message at 2 in the morning. I know I hurt you. I know what I did was wrong. I was just so unhappy and didn't know how to tell you. David made me feel alive again. I hope someday you can understand. I blocked her number after reading it. There was nothing to understand. She'd made her choices. Her relationship with David fell apart about a month later. I heard about it through a former coworker who was still friends with someone in Melissa's circle. Apparently, David's ex-wife had found out about the engagement and threatened to take him back to court over custody of their kids. She argued that his unstable relationship choices made him an unfit parent. David panicked, broke things off with Melissa, and moved to a different state for a job opportunity. Melissa, from what I heard, moved back in with her parents. The massive engagement ring disappeared from her social media. She posted a vague story about learning to love myself and healing from toxic relationships. I didn't watch it, but people kept filling me in anyway. Final update. It's been 3 months since that Wednesday afternoon when my world imploded. I'm doing better than I expected, honestly. The apartment feels emptier but also lighter, if that makes sense. I got a dog, a rescue beagle mix named Cooper, and he's been better company than Melissa ever was. The wedding venue refunded most of our deposit after I explained the situation. Our photographer was sympathetic and let me cancel without penalty. I sent thank you notes to everyone who'd already sent gifts, explaining that the wedding was off and they should keep or return the gifts as they saw fit. Most people were understanding. Work is actually great now. My new supervisor is a woman in her 50s who treats everyone with respect and has zero interest in workplace drama. The team is solid, the projects are interesting, and I'm making more money than I was before. Sometimes things work out. I ran into Melissa's brother at a grocery store last week. He apologized for his sister, said the family was disappointed in her choices, and that they'd always liked me. It was awkward but decent of him. As for dating, I'm not there yet. Maybe in a few months. For now, I'm focused on myself, going to the gym, reading more, spending time with actual friends instead of couple friends who disappeared when Melissa did. The Instagram comment I left, "Congratulations," became kind of legendary among our mutual friends. People told me it was the most savage thing they'd ever seen. Honestly, I didn't mean it that way in the moment. I was just so shocked that the only thing I could think to say was something polite and neutral. But I guess the irony wasn't lost on anyone. Looking back, the signs were probably there. The late work dinners, the way she'd started dressing up more for client meetings, the distance that had crept into our relationship. But I trusted her. I believed her. And that trust got me blindsided in the worst possible way. Would I do anything differently? Maybe I would have asked more questions, pushed back when things felt off. But honestly, if someone wants to cheat, they'll find a way to hide it. You can't control other people. You can only control how you respond. And I responded by refusing to let it destroy me. Edit 1. Some people asked if David faced any professional consequences beyond resigning. I don't know the full details, but I heard through the grapevine that his reputation in the industry took a hit. Construction management is a smaller world than you'd think, and word travels fast. Edit 2. Yes, I kept the dog. Cooper is the best decision I made during this entire nightmare. Highly recommend getting a dog if you're going through a breakup. Unconditional love, no drama, and they never post engagement photos with your boss. Edit 3. For anyone wondering if I ever got full closure, I don't think closure is real. You just move forward, and eventually the pain dulls. That's enough for me.